Right. Attorney. Seems like it's just kind of a rip-off of Aviary Tony, doesn't it? Ooh, anime.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh no! That's me, I think. Oh, more French. Bienvenue à la Carnival. The adventure of the great departure. I don't think there's a lot of French. We're not in France. I suppose there was any French. I think it's British focus? I'm not sure. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. Sorry! My name is Yunosuke Naruhodo. Oi. Yunosuke Naruhodo. Naruhodo means, like, understand? Right, I think? What Karimash does, I understand. Naruhodo is like, to understand something, I get it. And Yunosuke is like, dragon name? Or something? I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Uh-oh, my fucking Xbox controller is vibrating. How do I turn that off? Or just take it out is the easiest way. Don't mind me, I'm just fiddling about with Steam settings. Just get it now. Oh fuck! Pull the fucking cable out. Oh, I hope I pull out the right one. There we go. Alright. And now my desk won't be vibrating this entire game. That's enough. Whoa, we're gonna boil some water and steam my settings. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. This guy's cool. Who are you, cool guy? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? People don't get lawyers. Until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Ooh, get his ass. Right? You're not scared? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Kazuma, just like my boy in Vanguard. Vanguard has an anime. Vanguard the card game has an anime. And my boy Kazuma Shoji is a character in that. He plays the deck I play. Ha 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 ha! There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Kazuma-kun. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent. You're not scared. Kazuma Asagi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. Was I saying all that out loud? The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. What kind of van do I guard? I guard the Shadow Paladin van. I'll play Luard. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. Very mysterious aura. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean, to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only that it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. To Britain. To England. Alright, see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It's kind of gay. Kazuma, that's a little bit gay. Ah, but it was straight after that, and stopped being gay. Asagi, may I have a word? Meowdy, lass. Oh! Look at this guy. Hell, dude. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asagi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. We get the classic tutorial, easy case to begin with. Who is this man? Who's this guy? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Ugh, this is awkward. Oh, he's so handsome. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotaba. Hey, Sky! I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asagi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. Besties. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asagi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Feel free to vibe all over the place. Just comf wherever you like. Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asagi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? His dreams will be shat? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favourable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I definitely killed that guy. I'm a murderer, I swear it. He's not going to get to go to England and drink tea. And learn law. I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. This one's... I don't know the reason for it, but this one is set in like 1800s. Japan's open. They're getting a new law system, learning Western law. Application system. There's a word I'm searching for and I can't find it. I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. Yeah, this is Ace Attorney. This is the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But, then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Ah, it would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. Yunosuke Naruhodo is literally Phoenix's unlocalized name. I didn't know that. Wow. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. Is he telling me to fucking fire my lawyer so that when I get convicted and murdered and executed, he's gonna still be able to go to England and fuck the Queen? What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Cosmo's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. All I know about the crime so far is that there was a gunshot while the screen was still black, and then I was standing there holding a gun over a body slumped over a table. It's not looking great for me so far. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. Judicature. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. Secret trial? Trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Why do you have a sword? Is it the same fucking lawyer from the regular Ace Attorney games? The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is a much cooler judge, though. It's the same fucking guy! If anyone hasn't played the older Ace Attorney games, this same face, wearing a suit, and sweating a lot, is in those. I think he's the tutorial in the first one as well. This is the defense. I didn't read you what he said. Probably that he's ready. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I'm the main character. I'll be the judge. Defense lawyer. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Yes! What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Huh? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotaba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Whoa! Kazuma! I'm sure you could get me off anytime. It's not that, really. I do think you can get me off. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, on the off chance that I don't come, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotaba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. What's Professor? It's like... Shisho? Shisho's, I think, it's Master, but used the same way. Mikotaba Shisho. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Advocate. Runs a verb. Advocate for himself. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel. Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he is confident he can speak for himself. Is it the same judge? He's just got a different beard, maybe? Or is it just the color? Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Hmm? Oh! Yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. You sure it's the same judge? He looks way too competent. I'm just gonna check real quick. I'm gonna Google that. Google images that man. I guess I'm seeing in higher def than I'm used to. His hat is usually bald. Judge, can I get a high def judge picture? Eyebrows, very different. Nose, yeah, similar enough. Ears are down, yeah, okay, the face structure is definitely the same. Beard, completely different. Could not be a more different beard, and also different color. I'm not gonna go so far as to say same judge, but definitely like modeled and positioned the same place. The camera looking up, the ears, like it's the same angle, definitely. It's still an old man, but not as old a man as the original game's judges is. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Can I capture a screen instead of... Probably, but it's not something I'm going to figure out now. I want to figure out how to get a picture of the judge up on there. And it's like, what happens if I do this? Oh, there we go. Whoop! I lost it. Where'd he go? Come back. There he is. Nope. Okay, it's gone again. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again? I don't fucking know. Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. But not in the middle of a conversation. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. Here we go. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Kazuma Asagi is a 23-year-old second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Why does this OST sound like it's about to burst into hopes and dreams from Undertale? I couldn't tell you. Probably because Toby Fox was influenced by these kind of games. I would guess Eugene Mikotaba, 42, is a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and counts Kazuma's mentor. Takatsuchi Aochi is 51 and the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. The victim of the case is John H. Wilson, 47. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Killed Wilson! Wilson! So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. What was the evidence? My university collar pin on my jacket, and a post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 PM and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to this chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Can I examine it? This is how. Victim is John H. Wilson, a British male. Time of death was 19th November, shortly after 2 PM. They killed Wilson from house! That's kind of homophobic. Cause of death is a single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Now you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now. Yes! Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Haha. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together, after lengthy negotiations. Can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Ajtfan. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and shot him dead. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? No, you just interrupted my flashback. How am I supposed to know? The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was... Inosuke. Remember that in court. Every assertion must be backed up by evidence. Evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now. It's the Mortem report.
Yes!
Yes! Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. This is how you would act if you had to defend yourself in court? Yeah. Defending yourself in court sucks. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. A photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it, then. Damn, they've got me dead to rights. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotaba? Yes. Clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asuki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. This is way less pathetic than Phoenix's version of got accused of murder in college backstory. Yeah. Was that in the first game? I don't remember. Only of you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stairs first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the record, please. Bird game? Yeah, I wouldn't know. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Oh. Hey, dude. That's not good. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, tomato sauce. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. No petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, aspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 PM on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. Standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes! Oh, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Oh, I fucking nailed his voice. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Yunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Yunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? You gotta wait. What are you doing? I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Yunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd have never gotten to Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. You just told me not to say shit! The waiter can't see women. He's got misogyny instead of eyes. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? Whatever we're going to do with you. With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Osanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Send the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him, not stirred him. Waiter's business card. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant layout is on the back. Bro, do you need a cough drop? Do you need a Yoldi strepsil? So, the court has now heard a précis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. That was the wrong character. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikitaba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. I can be your angel or your devil. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced. Forever! The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. We invite the prosecutor to stop being a pee-pee-poo-poo man. Stop being such a nerd. Ooh. Some guys. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iisa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Corricuta at your service. And yet 200 years in the future, he's still pee-pee-poo-poo. But with a pompadour. Huh? Pompadour, isn't he balding? Wow, he's a fucking guy later. Oh, is it still... It's a pompadour later? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Very nice. Antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. Let's try this once more time. Can I do this and have it work? Nope. Don't want to link to it. That's fine. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always past post-noon. Let's have a little look-see at our information here. After 2 PM, yep, that's post-noon. Sounds about right to me. He got shot, he died. Didn't go all the way through, so his steak was unharmed. Anything crazy to note here? He's got all his buttons. He's slumped over. Oh! Interesting. Can't read the wine. And this one. Let's examine this, and then we can flip it over. No, we can't. Naruhodo. And not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller than a buyer. Rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black-uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. but I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment he shot the victim dead. Yes. Yes! Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir! Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Objection! This boy was shot in the front. Oof. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Neither of you saw shit! What are you guys talking about? Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What? Don't have a knife here. That's not allowed. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. He's got a knife! Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I don't think I've ever looked at this floor. Wow, a gun! I wonder if it's loaded. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Got chicken soup? Hell yeah! I might have some chicken soup later. Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! Do it! Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Do it. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes! What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Ah! Kazuma is so commanding. Oh. Oh, Kazuma. Very well. Let the defense conduct cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins. Ryunosuke. Sky, you're still concerned about the integrity of the building? Is a constant breeze enough for the headband to constantly flutter? It's fine, there's a window open. It's a peculiarity of architectural construction that a window open, like 2 rooms down, happens to be causing a current to flow right past his head very strongly, non-stop. And his hair is super gelled down, so that's not moving, but the band is. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yeah, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then, it's all or nothing. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Actually... press. Yes, I remember. So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... That's not the problem with that sentence. Ah! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet! Who else do you see around here in a black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well. It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man. From behind his back. And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Can I jump in here right now? Or do I have to wait until later? Yep, I can't do this. Nope, alright. I unloaded all over his back. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. Really? Not sure at all? There's nothing you can put your finger on? Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. I'm trying! And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witnesses just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Ooh! Hakuda was on his hands and knees. Hakuda was on his hands and knees while I thrust it in his face and made him choke on it. Investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. No, I want to do the other one. I have no... I do know what I'm supposed to do. Shut up. Ryunosuke, we know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence you've... yeah, I know, I'm trying! Present evidence by pressing E. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with R and rip the witness apart. Tear the bitch apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record, find an inconsistency with a witness's statement. Stop giving me a tutorial for the game for children! Keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Yep. Yeah, sure. You didn't see shit because of this. We got you now. Present. Present. Get it right, and I'll call you a good girl, lass. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my moustache. Thrust something in your moustache. Inconsistency, sir? I mean, yes! He does the hands on the desk thing, which in previous games and for everyone else does a really loud bang. When he does it, it's a light little tap. He just did a little fucking double take when his hands hit the table because he expected it to be a loud clap, loud bang. I was like, oh, didn't do anything. Quick little double take. Right on this. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. He's so frustrated. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Azuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant T.S. Anosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. He has special eyes.
Yes!
Yes! Cosmo, who was not meant to be presenting, is presenting. Oh, ooh. Presenting. Oh. Can I pull this down a little bit? Nope. That's something else. There we go. Get that nice background. So as you can see. And why not, cadet? Because of the wonderful things he does. Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What the fuck is that? What? Why do you have a baby? Huh? What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. He is so baby girl. Wouldn't you not agree, Sergeant Osa? Is he getting ratatouille'd by a baby? Someone put the fucking stand from JoJo's Part 4 in him. Cheap trick. To make him tell lies. Yes, sir, at this juncture that would appear to be indisputable. What? Indisputable. No? Huh? That's fucking baby again. Indisputable. Oh, that's just the right pronunciation. I'm just fucking crazy. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Sanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Oh, get his ass! Flip around that thing that he said. Yeah! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just in that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. And he said turnabout in the sentence. Why has he got a vase now? But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. Oh, his name's yes sir, no sir. That makes sense. Oops, sorry old man, I didn't hear that. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. I was far too busy busting it down sexual style. Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed! The Hoer Koban, my prized coin! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute. I don't think they've invented testing for gunshot residue in fucking 17 whatever the fuck. 1800 and nothing. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you? On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoy treasure. Belief that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. But I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoey treasure. I'm pretty sure that the Koban coin has gotten attached to this man's cufflinks And when he's slamming his hand on the table, they're banging together and it sounds like a gunshot. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hohe Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. No, sir. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Archie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's someone peeking over you, out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido. Attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Yeah, it's his son. It's his newborn baby boy. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was. That young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have possibly dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! These testimonies, are certainly compelling. Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already! But there was a woman! There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. Court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. We saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here that's behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Bubbles excited over a woman, to no one's surprise. We haven't found the woman yet. We have to prove she exists. Dr. Wilson's a woman? Could be. Good for her. Bingo Square? Unfortunately not. This isn't Bubble Stream. This is Lit Stream. No bingo here. Piss, 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 piss. Okay, so what do we reckon here? What is our stuff? Can I look at the things without presenting on a case? Not the same moment. Almost the same. Maybe. When he has gone at the foreign man, he was that young alone in black. That much to myself I could see. Only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. For no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Okay, so... What does this even tell us? This is nothing. Six tables. That's not enough information. What about this one? What do we learn here? See some chairs. This chair's turned around. Lunch was just a steak, and that's it. No sides or anything. Some sparkling water. That's a seat. Magnify like a hair left on the table or something. What does it want from me here? Oh, is it gonna have like... If we look at this one, do we see something different? No, it looks the same. That's the flower jug. Is there more steak in this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's probably the same. I don't fucking know. I guess just press all the things and see how we go. What do you think, Russ? Not going to ask you. Ooh. What's the matter? Can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Wait. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? Yeah, here we go. I just have to press them on everything. And then one of them's gonna trip up a bit. You may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. One way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Press. No, 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 it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? Grr. And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Yes!
Yeah, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. Collector. Yeah, it's collector. I love Ace Attorney games. I was thinking, is it a Japanese joke? Because kore means this, and does kuta mean something? Nah, it's just collector. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Put the knife away! Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Well, equally. Equally's doing a lot of work though. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 PM when it happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place is almost empty. I was thinking it was Outie. Is Pain his name and the later one's the descendant's name? You have an Outie before you have Pain. That makes sense. Certainly, 2 PM is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hot dog clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for that date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 PM. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Vinosio? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Did I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Nah, I'm sure we don't need it. I'm sure it wouldn't come up. Yes, we want to be submitted as evidence.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up for us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Tch. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Here it is. Now we can learn about the victim medical report. What we need right now is new clues. You have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Correcto-san. Baby getting startled every time boyfriend slams so cute. I haven't been paying attention to him. I'm too busy staring at Kazuma. Let me have a little look-see at this evidency. Oh, I'm not allowed to. I want to examine it, come on. Maybe it's not important. Alright, press this. Indeed alone he was. The English man. Dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the sailor, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen... Oh, am I supposed to present this because there's a chair? There is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, that's... I'm looking for anything that the game would want me to think about. Because Ace Attorney games have historically been a little loosey-goosey with logic. And what it wants from you. Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There you go, Bubble. Woman. Fucking layer braids. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. It's the baby. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Vionosque. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? It wouldn't let me! Yes, I know that! And when I tried to, you wouldn't let me, you fucking game! Tutorial. Press space and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use up, left, down, right. Oh, we can rotate. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using WASD, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. Okay, I wouldn't have known that. That's fair. I did need that tutorial. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use up, left, down, right, WASD, and space to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. It says Hotta Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics. Almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brr, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Is this the same hint? It probably is. It's gonna change anything. The same. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. Or when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. The bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with a topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure, until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Hell yeah. It wasn't his food. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Even though I wasn't sure it wasn't the precise moment. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was young lad in black, that much less to see. What is the one about being alone? We just searched the premises at the time and confirmed that we were the only personnel present. I think the next one specifically was... Yeah, here we go. Put it here. Actually, you're full of shits.
Yes!
Bullshit. Well, I think, about what are you wearing, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? That's too affordable now. I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. You're not scared. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Correct, Hassan. This is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. See the double take? It's so good. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. but let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. That's, Remember, Inosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has already heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly— Whoa! You hear that? That was a proper table hit. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it! How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotta Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating? Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Correct-san? What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What is this nonsense? You little upstart! Why did an American accent come out? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you! I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. I think the turns have tabled. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. Having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it! So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... The witnesses! The witnesses were eating his steak! Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma! Kazuma-kun! Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them! Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No. No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you say, Kurikuta-san? Kurikuta-san? Kurikuta-san. Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? Ugh. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. It's good every time. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Conspiracy. Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Yonosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Archie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing! And what does the defense have to say about all this, Well, Your Excellency, No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. You sure? That seems like a bad idea. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Fuck, I can't look at my information. My clues. I should have looked at them earlier. Not really okay. It could be Eugene. Probably not. These are the witnesses. Manipulating the witnesses. It could be Archie. Who's this guy? Is this guy sus? I reckon this guy's sus. He was reluctant to to submit his business card as evidence. So what's on the other side of that business card, huh? Fucking this guy.
Yes.
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Okay, now that we're here, let's have a little look-see at this one. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. There's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh, yes. What of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, dude? You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Inosuke. What if we flip it turnways? Chief Inspector! He's a copper. He's not a waiter. He's full of shits. I'm glad I picked him. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look. You have to flip it turnways. Do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga? Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. There we go. And now we've got this as our smoking gun. Our smoking gnu. Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier.
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... I forgot to look again. Come on, Inosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. Truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity. That's proven by this evidence. Okay, so right now I'd be able to examine it and find out the same thing.
Yes.
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's interest. It's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. A waiter's profession. But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Oh, well. Triple witness. Yeah, Inspector Hosonaga. 4 witnesses, if you want to get really granular, technical with it. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Oh, of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the 2 witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Ahem. Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, someone asked for a big juicy steak? With cheese? Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interests not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Jezile Brett. Fucking Jezile? She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But Your Excellency! That would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezile Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? It might be a little bit of a problem. Are you just gonna die? Ahem. Nothing will get in my way. Ahem. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Jezile Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. ... which you guys can't see. Oh, I think I'll save my current process, yes. Ooh. Cool. I'm going to take a quick 2 minutes to go piss. We'll reconvene after a 2-minute recess. Or less. We'll see how we go. See you soon. Oh, where were we? It is sometime later. Excellent work, Rionosco. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. And you were on Grinder. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Jezile Brett. What's the pun there? Jezile. Jail Brett. Jailbreak. Jezile Brett. Jezile Brett. I don't know. I can't think of anything. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun laying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotaba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Kazuma-kun! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence, and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? You're both professors, of course you knew the victim. Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. It was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Sama, oh. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Partner. Sorry, that's a different game. The first game has the cowboy. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before these old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma-kun? Ah? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and a friend. Oh, big yawn. Coming from you, that means a lot. Plethora. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. It's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Could do with the next large portion about now. I haven't had dinner yet. Just a late lunch.
Hi.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Yonosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. There's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, I'm terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Yonosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Oh, is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Oh. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jezile Brett. Yes. Your Excellency. Ho ho! It's quite the hat. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, ahem. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival. With my true— Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Fuck off. And she responds in English, which of course nobody here speaks. I don't speak English. The instructions are in English. I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not so good with English myself. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? English, 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 English? English, 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 English. The lady says her name is Jezile Brett. She comes from London, England. Is a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my! What a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones and the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Vinosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? English, 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 English. English, 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 English. She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? English, 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 English. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Shot the victim in cold blood. Order, order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! And look at this snow-white angel! Whoa, hey. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you'll need to learn. But he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. How about in the giant fucking swan hat? I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Ever go to lunch? What'd you have for lunch? Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witnesses' own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Whoa. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Okay, but what I think happened is that the sergeant, has the Koban coin and is causing the gunshot sound. What if he didn't get shot at all? Because we haven't done an autopsy, so we haven't found a bullet. What if he just got stabbed? Because no one heard a second gunshot. Probably just got stabbed. So what actually happened is, this is all a misunderstanding. The dentist left a dental tool in his mouth, which he swallowed accidentally, and it exploded out of him. It's not an entry wound, it's an exit wound from the exploding dental bullet. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. That's fucking sus. Never mind. She's definitely at fault. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency. Sure thing, Your Excellency. Sure thing, big man. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. But, what about? After 2 PM, in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? No. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic! What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beefsteak.
Yes!
Just a beefsteak? You didn't have any vegetables with it? You didn't have any chips? I find that hard to believe. He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hoja Clinic, Rick, right? That's right. I'm supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. But the steak's on his side. He's in the chair. Hang on, let's look at the chair. The picture. Look at this. It's pretty sus. It's in his placement. Pretty weird. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To have travelled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. It's carbonated, so it exploded. All the bubbles got together and blew his heart up. Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. There's only one glass on the table. Is it meaningful? I don't know how meaningful it is. Let's go with meaningful. And present only one glass being there as a issue. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating! Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Cosima. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Rinosuke. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water.
Yes!
So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak, that was for you, Miss Brett? The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True. Come to think of it, the first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to the witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument.
Yes!
Objection! No, the fuck I didn't. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku Englishu. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or if only in the presence of the beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? How did they write that in Japanese, the original localization? Just put it in katakana, maybe. Or have it actually be in English. Yeah, I'd expect maybe katakana. Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time we got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Stop smirking. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Yeah, damn, Cosmo. I thought he was going to be saying the same thing about her. Like, it's just her word against mine. There's no evidence either way, on either direction. Well, yes, that's true, but... But I did just pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes! There was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. The highly suspicious lady. That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel! Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy! It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense! The lady is... Oh. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
Prove it. It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. Because she fucking threw it on the floor and I picked it up! I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. Why on earth not? The Honourable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for further probing into the matter. Or, there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps? Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. Consuming a firearm? Oh, that's what was for dinner. That was what was for lunch. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Oh, that was me. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm just exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. Ah! We can't do that. The trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. Feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. First thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. I just pressed her on all of them. Do that, and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Oh, I wasn't fucking paying attention. Which one did she smoke over? Oh, there's so many. And I can't see it that far back. I just have to press each one again. Let's look at the evidence. And go with the why is the stake on his side thing.
Yes! Objection!
After 2 p.m. is quite a late lunch. Yeah, this is gonna be the same stuff again. No. Ah!
Yes!
Oh, here we go. What? There's only one glass. Oh, I can't. Is that right now? Okay, never mind. Yep, there we go. It's a little hint. I got it. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Wait just a minute. Nope, hey, nope, the other way. But what about this?
Yes!
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Inosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers! The cheers? Miss Britt just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass on the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. Oof. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? Quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry! Sorry! Maybe, sorry! Oh, I'm sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put out of mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the crime scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch, commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. Send her directly to jail. Do not give this woman £200. Do not let her pass go. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Hey, what if she had the fucking gun in the handbag, huh? What then? Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's that the handbag might have had something in it that got removed to fit a glass in it. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Gun-sized items? Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. Well, why don't you fucking say something then? What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Archie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Kazuma-kun? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Smith's gonna fall over dead by the end of this. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary? Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. What's going on over here? That's the same shape as the plate of steak. It's a bit sussy. We'll take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Ah! Ah! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. Photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. I don't think it's a tattoo, I think it's a burn. But yeah, I'm imagining I'm gonna get a chance to get into that. Can I do it now? Can I have a little look-see? No, not yet. But yeah, there's like a little bull shape. And then if we look at the plate, same little bull shape. And yeah, it looks like that's a hot plate coming out on a chopping board kind of thing, serving platter. And that's probably pretty hot. And if you put your hand on that, it's going to go, you're going to say, ouchie. And the prosecutor is going to say, huh? You talking to me? And you can say, no, I got burned. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. If he wasn't eating, how did he burn himself on it? Exactly the kind of questions we've got to be asking ourselves. What's going on here? As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. What's the name of the fucking first game? It's something like Turnaround. Turnabout? The name of the case? Oh, the cases are called Turnabouts. Yeah. Is it just Turnabout? Doesn't matter, I suppose. The word turnabout is important. And that's all we need to know. Kazuma. Kazuma. I'm sorry, Rinosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. Let me check this. Okay, what I'm thinking of is the Turntable Turnabout, which is the Mystery Skulls song about Ace Attorney. Or rather, the Mystery Skulls music video animation for their song Money. Yeah, everyone listen to Turntable Turnabout. It's fucking good. Just put that on in the background. Can I put that on in the background? Am I going to get in trouble if I put that on in the background? Gotta stop worrying about things I can't control. Is there a way I can... Yeah, is there a way I can play it without recording it to the VOD? Probably by setting up something which I haven't done yet. So let's just continue on. You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. All I shall do is to do this and that. Nope, that's not right. This? There we go. There we go. Everyone listen to that and watch that, but watch me most. Have mine in the foreground and on the second monitor. Fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, Kazuma-kun? What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little. Yunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me,
Yes!
hereby find you... Wait! Your Excellency! Yunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious! When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Hey, how about this bit? Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. You can put your finger on it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Oh, where could it fucking be? I don't know. Maybe it's the only other feature in this fucking photograph.
Yes!
Look at this, here! There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. It is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noted it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself... Nope, that's the judge. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. Too bad! We're in court! She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. Quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Yunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. I am sure, can I? But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. Yeah, Sky, I don't know if you were here for the beginning, but early on, but there was a brief line about how Japan in this time doesn't use a full, like, medical examiner, coroner, autopsy system like the West does. They just have the a detective or something, the arresting officer, do a once-over, just check them out and do a little self-report. And their findings is all they use. I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Huh. Just give up, Council! You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Yes, the photo of the steak has a bull's head on the hot plate. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. But there's not a lot we can do about it until the game lets me. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial.
Yes!
What's this, Council? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What are you objecting to? What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Yes!
Yes. The beef steak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnaval. Oh! This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Yeah! Yonosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other, unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or on any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, it'd be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Sky, also it looks as if the doctor was eating from the plate, which questions the medical record, or if it were done post-mortem, based on positioning. Yeah, that's what something I said earlier is that the plate's on his side, which is pretty sussy. It's like right next to him. So what the hell's going on now? Something I thought and didn't voice because it's extremely silly is that she was chewing up the food for him and giving him pre-chewed food like a little baby bird so he could still eat through the dental procedure, through the anesthetic. That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think? Do you think? Have you ever thought? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson could be asleep, like a really, really strong anesthetic. It can't be had nose a burn. That's nonsense. Burns hurt. Owie. Ouchie. Yeah, so either was asleep or was already deceased. Do we have any information on the aesthetic? It doesn't seem like it. Post-mortem, blood loss, blah blah blah. Can I get a closer look at that wound? Not like that much blood, really. I'm gonna go with was already deceased, but we'd spoken to him earlier. We said hi to him. Only one glass. No, she took a glass. So it's not poison glass, probably. Unless it is. Could be poison glass. There's like Some liquid in that one. Is there no liquid in this one? That one looks empty. And before it's some super vague thing like the swan hat shot the bullet, I was so sus of the swan hat. Holy fuck. Let's have a look at that swan hat. Oh, we can't. What are you kidding with that hat? Let's go with... was already deceased. I think there's not enough blood from the wound. So there was some coagulation already. First name is a gun? Is a Jezzail a type of gun? I don't know that one. Brett could be Beretta? Jezzail is a type of gun? Okay. Yeah, okay, it might be fucking gun over here. Jezzail Beretta. Let me tab out real quick and look at Jezzail. Oh! Ratlings have Jezzails, that's fun. Jezzail, yeah, it's like a big musket looking thing. Cool. She's a transformer. In disguise. Guns in disguise. I'm gonna go with already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds, even asleep. Unless, yeah, anesthetically knocked out. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Ah, already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! Madness! Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. Clearly has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Professor Ouchie. It's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. She speaks Japanese the whole time. Outrageous. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Nihongo ga hanasemasu ka? Hi. Saw this. Anata no... Oh, fuck, what's country? Watashi wa benkyou shimasu. Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country, after all. What, then? Why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Fuck this bitch. Girl, are you kidding? To the whole courtroom you say this? But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh. Well. You are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honoured by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. The true epitome of being an English gentlewoman is being annoyed with the police for investigating the murder you're trying to cover up. True. Why did you even come here? Because the copper made you. Alright. Why haven't you fled the country already? When the waiter brought me my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Fucking... Are you kidding? Fucking... There's no evidence. You're not going to figure it out. There's no proof. Bet. Come at me. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Judge! Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Bet she isn't even English? Maybe. Fucking American fucking shit up. Man. Thanks? Is that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Fortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Do I want to press everything? I'm kind of getting a bit late. I'll have a good time.
Yes!
It's probably not that much longer. I'll press all of them. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Rionosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh, yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Carbonated, though? Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Not a waiter. Exactly as you say, sir. Although... whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. You. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of the others in the courtroom, it means, bless you. No, the fuck I do not. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. Do I have anything to... Yeah. Can I countermand the... He's got some in his glass. Or she does. Ooh, hey, hang on. I don't suppose I'll be able to tell whether there's any residue from this photo. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ah! If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Yes!
Any poison. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height. However a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all of those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone exactly how you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question? On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yes!
Fucking explain that, please. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it, isn't that so? Quite right. Le Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Hey, what are you dying of, my guy? Hey, my dude, what are you dying of? Did you have a little drink? Did you have a sip of some carbonated water to clear your throat? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. Just drink anything they find. They'll eat a whole steak. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand? Haha, a killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Bruv, are you good? What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, so as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma? What, Ryunosuke? Here's one thing I noticed. Something's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to have reacted a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. No, last statement. Yeah. La 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 la, bullshit.
Yes!
So that stuff, blah blah blah. Was I not supposed to normally...
Wait.
There we go. Okay. Am I supposed to do something there? Vital evidence may be lost. Can I... Button on him? Oh, there we go. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman is to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. He's lost in his own thoughts. He's surrounded by thoughts. It's time. Pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryonosuke. It's all to do with a witness marker. What marker? Oh. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Cough being a sign for this is going too close to certain details? Maybe. I think... Kazuma just has a sword, don't worry about it. That's how you know he's Japanese, because he's got a katana. I think he's coughing, and he's looking all pensive and thinking, because he's like, why am I so sick? Why am I, like, suffering? Yeah, okay. Why have I been poisoned? Have I been poisoned, maybe? I think I've been poisoned. And Kazuma will definitely stab everyone to save Ryonosuke. They're boyfriends. Husbands. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with AD, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. It's cool. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with AD and focus on the detective. Pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Excuse me! Yeah! What's the meaning of this? He was really not expecting it. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. Truly, madly, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over, immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Huh? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every little investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. It's a fucking Final Fantasy ass, 14 ass emote right there. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Yeah, so he just stole the bottle of water. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Oh. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Carbonated water bottle has been added to the court record. Very sussy water. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. The reason she took the glass is because if you could see that it had no water in it if you looked at it. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. And Litch will take a big drink. Because, once again, he's playing a very talky game. Ahem. Ahem. So yeah, let's have a little look-see at a little bit of this. We'll examine that. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. We can't escape the French! Bubble would hate this if she hadn't gone to bed. Good night, Bubble. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. And then go to France and ask. Fuck if I know. You could just say that you don't know. Oops. How do you... Oh, this one. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. Don't drink it. I'll take a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Yeah. Poison water. So skip ahead to... How could a man possibly die?
Yes!
No, not present. Without leaving a trace. Yep. Yep, I pressed the wrong button. La da da da. Evidence, like a bottle of poison. Let's try that again. Fucking... Yeah, I know. New evidence. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. I never even thought of pursuing another witness over the current witness's statements. That was a great idea of yours, Kazuma. Well, it was all thanks to you noticing that the detective had reacted strangely to what the lady said. I'd never have guessed that he had all that bubbling away under the surface. To be honest, you keep surprising me at every turn. Sorry? Oh, never mind. So we know that Dr. Wilson was killed at around the time the steak was brought to his table. And by some means that left no physical trace on his body. We could just demonstrate how it was done. Well, I do have one idea about that, about how the professor was killed. Maybe I should just present the evidence and see what happens. Yes, I know I should have, and I missed it. Present! You could beat him over the head with a glass bottle. Nope, hang on. Ah, present. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Can I fucking swap to him for that? Look at him. Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Desile Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Objection! This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack. Shut up! It is you who should be silent. Oh, of course. Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself. No. No! No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. This is only to poisons available in Japan at the current moment. What about British poisons? Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. Ah, true. Did she poison only his glass? And then swap the glasses? Wait! Yeah! Because he's sitting on the wrong side. No. What? I don't know. He's on the wrong side. That's weird. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh, no. I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Kazuma? Sorry, you're not scared. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Surprise witness! Please, wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotaba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotaba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued? No! If it's to be continued, then that's like a whole nother act left. I can't go for a whole nother act. It's been 4 hours, it's 11 o'clock, I gotta go to bed. Alright, I was hoping to get through an entire case before finishing, but that's not gonna happen. So, I'm gonna leave it there. Definitely gonna be coming back to this one next time. Yeah, bedtime for me. But Bubble will be back again tomorrow. In 11 hours for day 3 of a VTuber debut subathon. Check it out. Watch, subscribe, donate biddies, whatever you do on a subathon. We gotta unlock a new tattoo at 1,000 points. I can't tell you what she'll be playing because she's going to randomly roll her big cool random game wheel. And it'll be very cool. Everyone will love it. It's probably going to be the best game. It's going to be exactly the game you want it to be. Whatever game you're hoping for, that's what it's going to roll. Oh, there's my phone alarm going off for bedtime. I will be back again next Wednesday with more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Because this game's cool as fuck. And there's a opposing lawyer I'm very keen to get to. Could be trash, I mean League. I have installed League, ready to play with her. I think we're going to be pulling in a bunch of mods, and we're all going to suffer together. Won't that be fun? Cancel. Nope, that's fine. Yep, you guys have done this. Firefan, you personally have done this on your own. Holy fuck, thank you so much for the many subs. See you next time. I'll be in chat tomorrow after I get home from work. Enjoy further Bubble stuff. Bubble marathon, subathon. Bye. Have a good night. See ya. じゃあね。おやすみなさい。